And who'd have thought that? Not me. I guess you know who these guys are now, 'cause I certainly do. I don't want to know them. And yep, I may be king. I have all the money in the world, and all the land, and all that stuff. But you know, I don't really think I want it. I just want to go home with Barry and, I don't know, have a bottle of beer. It's not gonna happen. It's true what they say. The grass is always greener. And you don't really know what it is you have until it's gone. Gone. Gone.
once again. Your country needs you now, boys. We are fighting an enemy like we have never encountered before. They are evil beyond reproach. Where they have come from, I do not know. But we need to send them back to wherever it was they came from. We need you, soldier. Yes, sign up at your nearest signing up station. There should be one near you. And remember, soldier, your country will be indebted to you.
Well, there I am. Conquer the king. King of all the land. Who'd have thought that? But how did I come to this, I hear you say? And who are those strange fellows that surround my throne? I hear you also say. Well, it's a long story. Come closer, and I'll tell you. It all started yesterday. And what a day that was. It's what I call a bad fur day.
Hello, 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 everyone. It is I, the one and only Khan. And we are here again with a new layout. And I'm actually on camera for once. I've been streaming over on YouTube here recently. And I've decided to start using my actual webcam just because, why not? Sometimes you can't really get certain points across or jokes across without actually having some sort of facial reaction. So, that is why we're here on camera. So it is Tuesday night, and it's not going to be like a terribly long stream or anything like that. I do have quite a busy day tomorrow, so I'm not going to be doing anything tomorrow as far as streaming is concerned. But I did want to cover some of the stuff that has been going on in the YouTube, Twitter sphere here recently. Those of you who are not caught up in this sort of thing, it's probably not going to matter to you, but I do like the I do like keeping up with this sort of thing, and I do like kind of giving my opinion. And yeah, so I figured it would be interesting for me, seeing as I've already been covering what's been going on there, to kind of to keep up with it. So that's what we're going to be doing. So what has happened in the last few days? Well, those of you who have been caught up and have been keeping track of all this, there was a big thing going on with good old Dark Cybernalian, Dave Bennett, as we call him. He had an interview, more like a talk, really, with Null from the Farm Kiwis, and they just had a talk, and lots of things happened during that little talk. Mainly the final admittance on DSP's part that basically everything that the detractors have been saying about him is true. He, of course, played it off as a joke, but then he didn't hard say that he was doing the whole WWE Champions thing, but he kind of softly admitted to it under the peer pressure of the Keno guys. And on top of that, he also finally supposedly banned probably one of the worst members of his community, which is a dude by the name of Darish. Some people call him Derek. It's whatever. It's spelled with an H. We're going to call him Darish. But basically, the only thing you need to know about that guy is he's just a heavy degenerate, basically a porn addict. He stalks and constantly harasses adult film stars, whether they be male or female. And he also is a very back and forth whenever it comes to his support for DSP, because on his streams and mainly just on his streams and anything that DSP is live on, he's constantly spamming in the chat, constantly giving his support, whether it be, used to be financial, not anymore, because the credit card he was using got taken away from him. But he used to support Phil quite a bit. He made thumbnails for him, although DSP won't admit to that. And he made tier makers for him to review. And just an all-around creepy dude. Like, he would even post in his Google searches in chats. It's very weird. But anyways, he's very flip-floppy in his support, because whenever it comes to the streams and everything else, he's high tier, way to go, you're doing awesome, Phil. And then on Twitter, he is basically telling anyone and everyone that DSP is having an affiliation with, or attempting to have an affiliation with, that DSP is this lying scumbag. So, it's very odd. It's a very awkward and odd little sentiment. But what we're going to be doing next is I'm going to find the, at least part of the interview, mainly that clip where he actually claims to. There is no permanent thing, of course, because he had to be basically his arm essentially torn off to get him to even admit that he would ban him. But honestly, whenever it comes to that, I think it's take it with a grain of salt sort of thing, because there's another person who goes by like Canadian Kirk or something like that. People just call him Kirk, who was basically banned earlier. Yes, hello.
I thought you weren't streaming this week.
I'm only doing one day, and that's today, and I'm not doing very long. I'm only going for like hour and a half. Just catching up on what happened over the weekend, and then I am going to be off for the rest of the week, especially tomorrow.
I plan that I'm going to pay for our lunch, and Chaos is just going to give me the cash back tomorrow when he gets here.
Okay. Sounds like a plan,
I
Reno.
don't have to be out past 2.
Yeah, I didn't plan on being out that long.
Well, he gets paid at 1:30.
Right.
So if we were to eat, we'd be out past 2.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
saying I'm just going to go ahead and pay for it, and we can have an early lunch.
Right, I see what you mean. Okay, cool.
I just had to get up and start walking around.
Okay.
My client wants to come pick up her balloon dogs tomorrow, and I told her it was your birthday and Thursday might work better if possible. Excuse me, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard that. I'll probably hear something in the morning.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk to the lady of the house for a moment, so we will be right back.
Me. I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat? Yeah. Ho, 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 ho. Ah. Ha, 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 ha. Hurrah. Hee, 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 hee. Ah. Do you really think you'll survive in here? You don't seem to know which creek you're in. Sweet corn is the only thing that makes it through my rear. How do you think I keep this lovely grin? Have some more caviar. Now I'm really getting rather mad. You're like a niggly, tickly, shitty little tag nut. When I've knocked you out with all my bab, I'm going to take your head and ram it up my butt.
Your butt.
My butt.
Your butt.
That's right, my butt.
Ugh.
My butt. My butt.
Bless it, squirrel, look what you've done. I'm flushing. Oh, what a world, what a world. Who'd have thought a good little squirrel like you could destroy my beautiful clagginess? Oh, I'm going. Oh, no!
Now that's what I call a bowel movement.
Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. We were talking family business, so it was kind of important. Anyways, we're going to look into the whole DSP being peer pressured into banning Darish. Let's see. Might just have to fucking... So I might have to go here. Okay. I got you covered.
The hate army trick.
It's the hate army, bro.
Hate army.
Shout out to
Cool. So this is going to be from shoutouts to the Hate Army for this one. So let's go ahead and do window capture. There we are. We will shrink this down to where it needs to be. I wonder is... Oh, it is. Makes me so happy.
Put 3 more pieces in my way.
Nothing wrong with that.
You want a drink? It's like a glacier.
Yeah, I'll take a sippy.
Oh, the damn thing's starting to come out again.
Ah, good old icy water. Well, let's get this all settled in and fixed up here. We mainly just want the video, right? Right. Okay. I'm glad we all agree. Nobody did agree. You hush.
Hate army. Good vibes to the
Shout out to
army.
hate.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out
Shout out to hate.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out for
Shout
hate.
out for hate.
Do you know a guy named Darish or Derek?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
get
he's
to
like
this.
he's like a supporter, moderator, and like thumbnail maker for your stream, right?
Wrong on all 3 counts. He's not a supporter, he's not a moderator, and he's never made a thumbnail for me whatsoever. All wrong, all detractor bullshit. He's just a viewer.
Okay.
And he made a tier maker for me once or twice.
Okay, tier
That was it.
maker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Josh, do you have like receipts on that, or is this what you've heard, or is this what's in his thread, or what?
Well, his response is there's definitely a relationship, or when I say relationship, I mean there's definitely like a connection. But his response is
I
actually
see.
it falls through
I
a
see what
crack.
I'm
I don't know
looking
how to
at.
respond
I'm
to that
dumb.
because the guy
Yeah.
is definitely like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
That's-
And he
that's-
definitely has
just
like
part
a
of
list
the-
of like little girls and
part
stuff
of
on his YouTube. Like
The
that's
thing
archived
is I'm
independently
blocking
from the
out my
forum.
background.
But
What do you think?
I think I remember seeing like his badge in chat though, that he had a supporter, like a mod sword or something.
No, that you're seeing someone gifted him a membership. That's what you're seeing. It's just a gifted membership. Anyone can get that on YouTube. That's just he has no power whatsoever on my streams whatsoever.
But he's allowed in your streams though.
Yes, he is.
But he has playlists of little kids on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, that he does.
Shall we publicly address this formally? This is good.
Let's
talk about this.
Real.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Why is he allowed to be a member of your community when he's such a creep?
That's the one thing that's really fucked. Yeah.
Here's my philosophy. You
His
guys
philosophy.
can disagree as streamers yourselves, and everyone out there watching, you may also disagree as well. All right, but allow me to lay down my methodology here.
Sure.
Okay. I'm a content creator. Every day I put on a stream. I'm trying to entertain an audience. I'm trying to make a living. I got a chat. People come in. People come out. I see people from all walks of life.
Yeah, you do.
Here, there, and everywhere who attend my
Sure
streams.
you do.
And I don't judge anyone for anything but what's going on in my stream. Okay?
Sure.
If I see someone in this stream doing something disgusting, having awful things said, or they're breaking the rules, they're out of it. I have rules laid out. Actually, my stream, I think, is a little bit more lax than others because I used to be known as like the moderator heavy guy, and now I almost don't have any moderators anymore.
I don't think you've ever been known as that, to be honest.
But anyway, my philosophy is what goes on in my stream is the extent of my responsibility as a streamer
Sure.
to take care of. Now, anyone out there who makes content, do you personally know every single person who's on your stream? Do you know what their life is like behind the scenes? Do you know what kind of stuff that they're into? What, their kinks, their bullshit, what they post on their social media? Of course not. How on holy hell would any of us ever know what all of our viewers are doing? Nor is it in our realm of responsibility to have to actually look into that. You understand? These people are just here to watch me. That's all I care about.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. You don't know everyone's backstory. You can't control everyone. Makes sense. But we have verifiable evidence that Derek is a pedophile. He has playlists of kids, and it's really weird fucking shit. And this is the one thing Ashton and I are like, what the fuck is...
What the fuck
I
is
get
this
what you're
shit?
saying.
And
I get what
Josh
you're saying.
looked into it yesterday. Let Josh. Josh, what do you think about what Phil just said?
Well, it's not just this. Knowing...
Now, before we hear Noel's answer, very interestingly about this dude here, Pig Roach, as people call him, the pig man. The interesting thing about what he just said is that it could be interpreted as a justifiable thing, right? Like, you don't know what everybody does who comes to your streams and whatever. People who watch your streams are just there to watch your streams. Me being a recent content creator and a recent streamer, I totally understand where that's coming from. However, there is a major issue whenever it comes to Darish in particular, and this whole situation in particular. Now, if you're brand new to this guy, if you're brand new to Dave Bennett, to Philip Cheesesteak, then you're not going to know the full history of what's been going on with his community. Darish in particular has been outed as this weird, strange guy, we'll say, for years. His history of what he does on the internet, of what he gets into, of what he's into, has been pretty hard and heavy on the internet for a while. And the fact that it has come to this point, that it has finally come to right now, that this is getting pointed out to him, and he's acting like, oh, well, I didn't know anything about it, guys. I had no clue. That's not true, because he has been told about this particular individual in his community for years. This is literally years in the making. And they're about to bring this up, but Phil has like a very weird protective thing over Darish for some reason. But we're getting ready to get into that. I don't want to spoil anything just yet.
Thing about it, like when you find out, like you have to do something about that. And from what I understand, the big point of contention is not just that he's there; it's that other people, you know, who are in your community, who are in your chats, have pointed out that this guy is who he is, and he seems to be getting a layer of protection that people are able to observe. He seems to get away, according to, you know, the people that watch, he gets away.
Now you see, right now Phil's got this weird smug look on his face. He's starting to giggle. From a psychological perspective, what he knows right now, what he's hearing Null tell him is the truth. He knows that this is true. Darish has had a layer of protection for years.
With a lot more than other people would. Just in, you know, it's suspicious to them. I don't know. I've not seen this, but that's what that's what they say.
So you don't even know what they're saying. You just think that somehow he's getting some kind of protections in my stream, is what you're saying.
He definitely is.
Yeah, either from people in the chat calling it out, or just in regards to his behavior. Like apparently he spams a lot, and he gets a pass with that, and people suspect that there is some kind of association there where he gets a pass. Like for instance with the thumbnails, because they say that he has like a monthly vacation, and during that vacation the style of your thumbnails changes, and that is how they come to the conclusion that the thumbnails are being made by him, because they don't get made by him.
Because they were
He's
and
literally
are.
never made anything like that for me whatsoever. He's, like I said, the only thing he's ever made is 2 tier makers, I believe, over the last year.
So he has made stuff though.
He 2 tier makers, and one that I used on a stream and one I did not.
But brother Phil, like you can't have a pedophile making stuff for you and part of your community in a broad sense, right? Like you should probably just
like whenever I'm going to say something about the Kino Casino guys, right? Whenever it comes to PPP, who just spoke, and Andy, who is on the far left-hand corner, whenever they both get to, like, it's just them and they're reviewing a video, it's very, very hard to watch what they do. It is extremely hard. And what I think it is, in all honesty, I think it's just because you have 2 very hyperactive ADHD people in the same room who are reviewing the same thing, and they both like to talk at the same time, and it's just very, very difficult to... It's very difficult to watch that. And, yeah, it's just very difficult to watch that because they're, I don't know, it's difficult. It's very difficult, even for me. And I have a little bit of ADD, I know that much. And even for me, it's very, very hard.
Ban the fucking guy and send him packing, and I think you'd get a lot less shit if you did.
Here's the thing, you're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. You guys are correct. If I were right now to say, enough is enough, too many people have issue with this guy, ban him, okay? That would solve that problem. However, the big picture that no one's looking at...
Let's solve that problem, then.
Okay, but listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't understand the Pandora's box that you open once you do.
Phil, that's a very obvious, like, slippery slope
fallacy. My God.
It's like, you can get rid of the guy that has the little girl playlist on YouTube without opening Pandora's box. That's
no. Oh, Josh, you gotta listen, all right? Because, again, you know how bad my detractors are, correct? You know how crazy they are.
The eternal victim.
The only reason that we even know anything about this person is because my detractors went to all of his personal socials and dug into them deep.
But he's a pedophile.
But they got him. They got him, though.
Okay, now hold on. I know. Listen. I'm not disputing what you guys are saying, but please let me finish what I'm saying.
For sure.
All right. If the only reason that I know that this guy did something bad is because people went off of the realm of my streams and my content to find it, I'm sorry, but that's not my responsibility to be dealing with. Do you understand? Because here's the thing. Now, please listen. If I ban Derek right now, I call him Derek because that's what I thought his name was. I guess it actually is Darish or whatever. But if I ban Derek right now, here's what will happen. Because here's what Josh just said about Kiwi Farms. If he deletes my thread on Kiwi Farms right now, the detractors go.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if we'll cover that this week. We might do it next week because this is the only day I'm streaming this week because I have a very busy time. But that's something that we might cover. But for a good majority of the talk that DSP and Null had with each other was basically boiled down to, hey, Null, you run that forum site. There's a thread of me on that forum site. It's a terrible thread. You should get rid of it. And then some of it was basically not only him, but these other two here attempting to talk him into just basically condemning the site and shutting it down.
Go somewhere else to do something worse, correct? If I ban Derek right now, the detractors won because they say, look what we did. We researched a guy who no one would have known he had anything wrong with him by just watching Phil's streams. For the record, Derek has never once talked about any of this malicious activity on my stream. He knows better than that. He doesn't bring that shit. That's his personal life or whatever, right? So he does not do that on my streams. If I ban him, guess what happens?
So you know what that boils down to? He's a terrible person in his personal life. But because he's here and he's supporting me, it doesn't matter. That's exactly what he just said. I'm going to back it up, and we will hear that again.
Look what we did. We researched a guy who no one would have known he had anything wrong with him by just watching Phil's streams. For the record, Derek has never once talked about any of this malicious activity on my stream. He knows better than that. He doesn't bring...
He's never talked about any of this stuff on my stream. He knows better than that. And you just see PPP down here. He's just covering his eyes because he knows that it's a terrible excuse. Oh, but this is the king. Remember that. This is the king. We gotta listen to what the king says.
Bring that shit. That's his personal life or whatever, right? So he does not do that on my streams. If I ban him, guess what happens? The detractors say, we got the response we wanted. They'll finally ban him.
If I may,
We're on to the next.
I have a very personal, like, because there's a very comparable story to this. The forum is having a kind of beef with this Ricada guy that you know about, and he dug through some information and he found out that one of the users was a convicted child pornographer from the District of Columbia. And when this was brought to my attention, I banned him. And sure, them finding this out was a win. You know, they won. They got to say, oh, well, the Kiwi Farms has a pedophile. We can prove it. Mm-hmm. And it's true. It's embarrassing. But I still banned him because I don't want a pedophile on my forum.
Right.
Do you think that's a fair comparison?
It is a fair comparison. However, what you didn't let me finish this statement here. The moment I ban Derek and these detractors say we won, guess what happens? You just gave them exactly what they wanted. You gave them the attention they're craving, and then they move on to someone else. And then they move on to someone else. And then they move on to someone else until it's done.
But sometimes in life you have to hold the L. And sometimes bad people are going to get a win. But that's just the reality. You can't have a pedophile in your community, like an open pedophile. And you're basically admitting he's a pedophile.
Oh, no. Let me tell you this.
It's okay.
I will say this. I don't know anything about that because I
don't know it. Yes, you do. You know plenty about it because it's been brought up to you over years. It was brought up to you by top tier rated Brian. He brought it up to you. He said that he was a weird dude and that he was into weird shit. And he didn't know if he could still stream with you and do co-ops with you because of this really weird dude you have in your community. And what did you do? You pushed top tier rated, you pushed Brian out and kept Darish around. There is absolutely no way that you can say that you didn't know and you had no fucking idea. That's just like how you say you don't know and you have no fucking idea about the detractor stuff. And yet you can quote stuff that even I have said the day after I say it. So you can't tell me that you don't know.
Make it a philosophy. I do not personally research my viewers. I think that's fucking creepy. That I would spend my time every time that someone says something about someone, I gotta go search their socials. I gotta go to their YouTube page and search their history.
Wait, may I say one thing? Sorry, may I say one thing? Okay, so you're saying people did research outside the realm of your show and whatever. I get what you're saying there. Well, if Derek was caught and you found out that the police found something on him and he's in the middle of a trial right now, and he was a pedophile, right? And it wasn't the detractors or anything. It was through legal whatever, right? Then would you ban him because it wasn't detractors?
Well, how would I find out about that? Like, how would I even know that?
A fan of yours goes, I live in the same city as him and I saw him on the news, for example.
Well, what if it was Harvey Weinstein? Like, how bad does somebody have to be before you're like, well, I don't want to associate with this guy?
So
you know
if Hitler
I mean?
was on my stream and was still alive,
Yeah.
would I ban Hitler, right?
If Adolf Hitler 1488 was an active user on your stream, would you ban him? Because he's only Der Fuhrer in Germany. I mean, you don't know anything about that, right?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, that's a good point. But and I totally.
It's a good point. It's a great point to make. And because you're making it right now and you're not an active detractor of my stuff, and you're not someone that I don't really give too much of a shit about, because right now, because you're here, I'm going to be making extra money, of course it's a good point. But if it was any other time, if it was anyone else, and it wasn't in this particular scenario,
Totally understand what you're saying. I do. Let me tell you, I've gotten a lot of shit over this. And here's the funny part. What the fuck does this have to do with me? It's not even anything I've done or ever. I gotta take shit because someone got dirt on a viewer of mine.
Please tell me he's not that. He can't be that dense. There is no way you're that stupid. There's no way. That is acting. He's acting right now, right? He's got to be. What does this have to do with me and my streams? Well, first of all, he's extremely active in your streams and in your community. Second of all, he has done stuff for you in the past, whether it be tier makers, thumbnails, or whatever. He has more of an intimate relationship with you than anybody else in your streams in comparison with that. And thirdly, because of the fact that he does all of these things, he has a layer of protection around him that you have actively acted on. You have actively banned people because they kept bringing him up, banned people because they keep calling him out for his shit, banned people because he is doing things that are against your own rules, your own stream rules. And he gets away with it. But anybody else that does it, ban them immediately. That's why it has something to do with you. The fact that that's not already abundantly apparent makes me think either one, you're desperately just trying to push this to the side and get away with it and just get away with what you've done and get away from it, or you're just stupid, and I don't know which one it is. I really don't.
Who talks a lot in chat or whatever. And again, the other things you've been told are not true. He's not a moderator. He doesn't regularly make any content for me. He's had one tier maker that I made. That's it. Like, that's literally the extent of that. And then he talks a lot.
So if he does have playlists of little girls on his channel, he's creeping on little girls.
Yeah, which he does.
Do you disavow that behavior?
Oh, absolutely I do. Absolutely.
So you disavow Derek then?
Yeah, I don't condone any of that. But at the same time, I'm not going to go out of my way.
I don't condone any of that, but at the same time, I'm not going to condemn him for it. That's the translation there.
To find out who everyone is or what they do outside of the realm of my
going
stream.
out of your way,
We're
though,
bringing
like,
it to you.
me and Josh have both looked at it as of yesterday, saw that it was foul and disgusting, and now we're bringing it to you. We're credible. Like, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah,
If
let me
you-
phrase it
Oh,
like this.
I know. But I totally understand where you guys are going.
You are
I do.
totally correct that if you ban this guy, the detractors will start looking into your viewers harder. You are totally
course.
correct. That is a completely accurate assessment.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you still not want this guy to be in your community or your audience and openly known as this guy? Because if I'll swing it the other way, if you, it's a no-win situation. That's correct. If you don't ban him, if you ban him, then the detractors will look into your other viewers, and you're completely accurate about that. But if you don't ban him, if you do nothing, then they will just continue to bring this up with, an accurate line from the point A to point B, and it will always be there, and it will always haunt you, and people will always ask, well, why the fuck doesn't he just ban this guy if he knows about it?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's a no-win situation. I agree.
You're right.
But I think that one option is better than the other.
So to answer that, at least in my experience, and I'm 42 years old. I don't know how old you are, John.
Oh my God, we're going back to I'm an old fossil, Josh. I'm an old fossil. I hate with a passion this next point.
Josh, but I'm 42 years old. I've learned in my 42 years on this planet that I would much rather deal with the devil I know than the devil I don't. And what I mean by that is, I know who Derek is. I can't confirm or deny what you guys are saying because I've literally never looked into it.
How can you say you know who he is when you won't look into it?
I know who he is in my chat. I know who he is as part of
This is flat out delusional, though. Like, if
No,
you look at his
thank
Twitter
you.
account, it's just straight up porn.
Okay, I believe you. You're telling me this now as a neutral third party, correct? You're neutral.
Yeah, and we think it's very foul. Like Phil, this is not like, oh, someone's kind of like an incel or weird or whatever. And
Three playlists
this
with
is like
hundreds
fucked.
of videos of just little girls doing innocuous things. It's genuinely fucking creepy.
Well, if this is what you guys are telling me, then yeah, I'm gonna ban him.
Let's go! Yeah, honestly,
we went, we're not even done with this video because I'm pretty sure he continues to go on to try to protect the dude. But we've literally went 13 minutes, and it took 13 minutes of them basically prying teeth just to get him to do this. And it's a very simple thing, and it's a very obvious thing. If a dude is a creeper in your community, you get rid of them. That's just the way that it is. It would be the same way if the tables were reversed and I was in Phil's position and I'm like some big streamer or whatever, and I find out that it can be one of the biggest contributors and supporters in the entirety of my community. If I find out that they're doing stuff with kids in that way, yeah, no, they're gone. There would be no hesitation. There would be no questioning about it. Just as soon as I got the briefest amount of evidence, that's all I would need. And for Darish in particular, what they're saying is 100% accurate. His YouTube channel is just filled to the brim of these custom-made playlists that are hundreds of videos long, and they're all got little kids. Some of them just doing innocuous things like, oh, they run to the end of the driveway or whatever, and then there's other ones that are full on them in dance class and dance lessons and stuff. It's very weird.
Hold on. The devil, that was the devil I knew. You understand?
Yeah.
So I can deal with that. I know how to deal with this guy. He talks a lot in the chat and whatever, and it's annoying to certain people, and I gotta hear people talk about what he does in his personal life. But now when I ban him, now I gotta deal with the devil I don't know. What's the next person who's now gonna get harassed by my detractors? And I don't want this to be like Phil's viewer hunt.
Let me ask a question. And maybe someone's already asked this out in the sphere. I don't know. Now, maybe they have. You'd rather deal with the devil that you know than the devil that you don't. That's what he just said. The devil that he knew is that this guy's weird in chat. He's a weird person in real life. He's very creepy. He talks a lot in your chat. People get annoyed by him. He gets away with shit in your chat that other people don't get away with. So on, so on, so on. And now you got to deal with now that you're going to ban him, according to you. If you ban him, now you have to deal with the devil you don't. And the devil you don't is whoever the next person it is that your detractors happen to go after. If your detractors go after, and here's the question, if your detractors go after another viewer of yours, let's say they dig into the next person, and they find out that the next person was even worse than Darish is. Like, let's just say that they not only do they have, like, let's say they're Darish 2.0, that they're not only looking at these little kids in these videos, but they've actively gone out and done something to a little kid. Is that is that a bad thing for them to find out that someone may have done something like that and help you by proxy get them out of your community? Is that a bad thing? It doesn't matter who it is. It could be what's his name or their name. I don't know. They're transitioning now, I think. The Only Iced Coffee person. What if, like, they are 100 times worse than Darish and someone digs into them and finds out? Is it because they've given you hundreds of dollars over the years that you're not going to get rid of them? Because I tell you what, that person could have been the sole reason that I'm a millionaire today, and I would still bury them and get them away from my community. There is no way that I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe me and Filbert are cut from two different cloths, but that seems honestly seems like a pretty good idea if the detractors are going to dig into your community and get rid of all these bad eggs. Wouldn't that be a good thing? I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
I understand.
I'm not
that,
Philly.
But I think regardless of what you do, your viewers are going to get harassed.
And they're still going after your other viewers, dude. They still
this
are.
happened before.
Like,
There were whales on the DSP channel who got doxxed, and I think that was one of the other things where I was kind of irritated with people on the DSP board because they were doxing. Like, I don't remember his name, but there was a guy that gave you a lot of money, and simply because he gave you a lot of money.
You have to understand something. What you're describing right now is a normal day of behavior on that forum about me. That's not like the exception to the rule. That's literally what happens every time a whale shows up to support me. They get doxxed on your forum.
And that's why the Derek thing doesn't matter, because it's like they're going to be pieces of shit no matter what. And honestly, like, we're telling you right now, I swear, Phil, we've been as nice as possible. I got to say, this Derek guy is twisted. Like, it's
just bad news, Phil, and you gotta get rid of this guy. Like, you know, you didn't know until today, but now you know. And I'm just telling you, man, if you don't
it gets worse if you don't do anything about it.
It gets way worse if you don't get rid of him. And quite frankly, our audience isn't going to tolerate Derek, and and nor do I. I'm not going to tolerate Derek either. And some people in chat are saying, why haven't you banned Derek from this chat? If Derek hasn't been banned from our chat already, I advise every single mod to ban him. Because I honestly, like, it's just this weird, creepy stuff. Like, he's got LollyCon going on his Twitter. He had that YouTube playlist of little girls. And then everything he talks about is porn all the time. And it's just a bad look for you to be associated with it, Phil. And I think if you were to cut this cancer off at the legs and just throw him the fuck out, I think you would win a lot of respect and support from people, straight up.
See, and here's the thing, what you just said. So if you were to cut the cancer off, but the thing is, he's not me. He's just a dude in my chat.
But
oh my. It's not. It doesn't matter if they're you or not. They're associated with you because they're in your community. They're from your community. They're active in your community. That's what it has to do with you. Here's another thing I don't understand. You will, and this is going to be me talking to Phil himself, and I think I'm going to cut out like part of this, and I'm going to put it on both my YouTube and my Twitter, and I'm going to fucking link him to it, and hopefully he responds. But here's me talking directly to you. Whenever it comes to that particular point that you just had, now I know this is in the past, and I know that one of the immediate things is going to be is that you've already banned him, he's already been banned or whatever, this is water under the bridge, I don't know why we're still talking about this, blah, 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 blah. But it's a point that needs to be addressed, and it's a point that needs to be talked about. You combine all of your detractors into one boat. You combine them into one section. If one of them goes off and does something, they're all guilty. It doesn't matter what that one detractor did. It doesn't matter at all, because all of them are guilty of the same thing in some form. You openly act that way about the entirety of your detractors, and if you sit there and say that you don't, you have to also admit that you're fucking lying, because that's exactly what you're doing. If one detractor goes off and they find a bunch of personal information about you and they post it somewhere, then it's all your detractors' fault. That is how you act that way. That particular example is no different than what we're talking about here with your community and someone a part of your community. Oh, well, that's not me. I don't know what that has to do with me. Any detractor could say that to you about any other detractor that does something worse. The detractor that went out and found your personal information and posted it somewhere has nothing to do with all the other detractors. For the most part, you may consider me a detractor. I'm fine with that. I enjoy what I do. But the whole point is that as far as I'm concerned, and as far as what I even got any sort of interest in this community is about, other than, you know, just having a genuine dislike for your antics, the main thing that got me involved into this whole detractor thing was the fact that all that most of the detractors did, and all that they still do to this day, is they take things that you have said, they line it up with other things that you have said, and boom, prove that you're a liar. That's all they really do. Sure, do some of them go above and beyond and way far ahead? Sure. But that doesn't mean that every single one of the detractors are like that. And yet, you will use the worst example of the detractors to summarize the entirety of the group. And that's you, and judging by what we're hearing here, you wouldn't agree with doing that, because you don't think that you're at fault or have anything to do with, rather, you think that you don't have anything to do with someone who is an active, vocal member of your community. What is it that a lot of people say whenever it comes to these big online streamers and communities now? Isn't it the community is the reflection of the streamer? Isn't that like what a lot of people say and a lot of people believe, is that how your community acts outside of your stream, or even within your stream, that how they act and what you let them get away with is a reflection of yourself? That's why they're holding you so hard and so accountable. That's why they're holding your balls to the flame here, because they're trying to get you to see and understand that if you know all of this stuff that you're being told, which you have claimed that you don't at this point, it's gone back and forth though. If you did know, you don't know, you'd have no idea, whatever. But up to this point, you say that you don't really know which is true and what's not. You don't really know what's what. But they're telling you exactly what's going on. If at this point you claim that you have no idea, then that's a lie. It's a hardcore lie. And letting him stay in your community hurts your image, because you're letting him stay there. And you know, as of this moment, you know what they do. You know what they're involved in. And your only retraction, your only way to get away from it, is to say, well, if they get rid of this person that I know about, they'll go after someone else. And that might actually end up being a good thing, because who knows what else someone else will find out about another person who is a part of your community. It could be worse. But if they get them out of the community, how's that a bad thing for you? Oh, the money. That's right.
So I
But
get what you're
perception
saying.
is reality.
The only reason that association ever existed is because my detractors went and stalked the guy to figure out the information. I'm not being sympathetic to what he's doing. I'm sympathetic to
100%.
the fact that this guy never did that in my chat. And then the rules now are going to become, oh, well, now if you ever do anything that's deemed immoral, Phil might ban you from his chat.
The pedophilia
and I don't want
sort of
people
like
to think that.
surpasses a lot of immoral stuff, in my opinion. And also, you know, we have a lot of viewers here. If someone went and found something on one of the viewers and it was like they're fucking, you know, pedophile, this, that, the other, we'd surely ban them without even a thought, right? No. Especially if it came out to be true. And you're like, okay, this guy, and it's not like it's like a rumor. It's this guy on his main channel. You click view channel, and he's got it open. Like he's like, here it is, guys. And we really think that I know what you're saying. That your detractors will be crazy and psychotic and go after other people, but they'll do that anyway. And I'd respect you a lot if you just got rid of him. And you know, it sort of puts a precedent to I will not let people who believe in the shit in my chat.
I'm just saying the proof is like overwhelming. Like it's undeniable when you look at it. It's just too overwhelming to deny. So
okay, done. All right. So I mean, I'll be honest. Here's my final statement on it. It makes me sad for two reasons. Number one, it makes me sad to know that this guy does all that shit because I heard it for like 2 years now, and I'm just.
What? You heard it for 2 years? Just a moment ago, you had no idea. You've heard it for 2 years? You've heard it, which is true. You've heard it for 2 years, or it's just now new to you?
Just like, it's just the detractors, right? Maybe they're exaggerating, they're making it up. And I made a philosophy, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to look into it, because if I do, I've broken my own moral code that I'm not going to look into.
How is that a part of a fucking moral code exactly? What is what is immoral? What is bad about looking into a rumor? What's bad about that?
Stalk and harass my own viewers. So that's
stalk and harass. What are you doing? Are you going to go and sit outside their work? Are you going to hide in a bush and wait for them to come out of their house? What? This internet shit is getting so sensitive, man. So if you go and look into someone who just looking at their channel, seeing what they're into, going and looking at their if they have a Twitter, going and seeing what they tweet about, even like just going with the avenues that are provided to you by the people that are providing it. They say, hey, if you go and look here, you'll find this. So if you were to do that, that would be immoral, and you would be stalking and harassing them? That is no different than a journalist being told, hey, this person might have quite possibly murdered A, B, and C. And then they go and do their own investigation. They go and ask questions, and then eventually they end up at that person, and they're like, hey, I have questions. I'm from da-da-da-da-da-da news network, and I have questions for you regarding this. Is that them stalking and harassing someone because they're investigating? Because that's essentially what you would be doing, just the internet version.
That's why I haven't done it until today. But now that you guys have said this to me, I believe you. I don't think you have anything to gain by lying to me. So I will be banning him when he shows up, because you know undoubtedly he's going to show up in my chat this week, and I will ban him on all of my channels. Okay, that's
a righteous decision, King.
But here's why I'm sad, all right?
Yeah.
To be honest with you guys, from what I know of the guy in my chat, he actually was like a good person in the chat.
He
and
seemed
that's
nice, yeah.
He's a nice guy. He adds nice comments. I mean, he's needy. He always asks, "Hey, talk to me. Why is he not talking to me?" Right? But he has very nice positive comments.
What? What?
You know.
He
Can you
brings
explain that?
candy.
What does that mean?
But Phil,
Well, he needs attention.
let's
You know what
just
I'm
try
saying? He's
not
one of
to
the-
talk positive about the pedophile, right, Phil?
No, I'm not. No, I just understand. If you separate that, because that was been my philosophy.
He's got candy for
Dude,
the kids.
when this guy showed up
He
to
was
the
a great
chat,
guy.
he came with this
That is-
entire van full of candy. It was so nice. Everyone
this
got
is
their
like
favorite.
this is like you know someone for a while, and you only know, like, so let's say you have you're at work, and someone at work is someone you're friendly with, right? And you're like, wow, they're a really nice guy. Then you find out 2 years later that this guy's a scumbag, like something like this. That's the feeling I have about it. But you guys,
You can't have that feeling. You absolutely can't have that feeling about this dude. What work? What place of work have you gone?
are absolutely correct. So I'm gonna get rid of him because I trust you.
Yeah.
God bless you,
Well,
Phil. I appreciate.
That is just pathetic, dude. Like, I'm glad it happened. Don't get me wrong. Outing someone and getting rid of anyone like that from any community doesn't matter if it's Dave Bennett here or it could be anybody. Even if it were to be someone like Christian or something like that. If someone in his community was that bad and they got outed and they ended up getting, and even the Channinator being like, "Oh my God," like even him doing it, you know, curse Yami, like I would be fine with that too. I would applaud him. It would be great. I'm glad they're outed, but the fact that it's taken nearly 20 minutes for him to finally go, yeah, I'll ban him. And honestly, I'm going to give my opinion on that at the end of this.
That. Josh, give us your thoughts here, and then we'll go back to Phil, and we'll do a few more rounds of questions here.
Just real quick here. Tetrabacks with 25 gift
Wow.
subs.
Oh,
Big
wonderful.
support.
So much.
Good job, guys.
Appreciate all you here. All right, sorry, go ahead.
It's not a unique problem because there's another person who has a large following called Chantal, and her top moderator for years was this guy who got outed as a convicted sex offender, and you know she finds out and she's like, well, that sucks. He's been fasted the streams for 3 years now, but bye-bye.
It's sick and twisted. And, we respect that you're doing that. I know it's sort of, like, everyone was saying this, and I get it. You don't want to listen to your detractors because they do exaggerate or lie about some stuff, sure. So you're like, but we're just telling you straight up, this is a 110%. It's not even a question. But, yeah, I respect that, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Dude. Yeah.
Everyone's saying thank you to agree to ban a certain person. All right. And when, again, just for the record, on YouTube, you cannot just ban someone. They actually have to be on your stream or in your content to ban them. So until that happens, I can't do it. But when it happens, I will do it. Period. And I don't even really have anything else to say about that subject. I talked about it enough. I just want it behind me at this point. I've had enough.
You just want it behind you. You've had enough. Okay.
Seriously, I just had enough, man. El Chupacabra, thank you for the super chat. Good on you on the commitment for the ban. Yes, the ban is coming. The ban is coming. Don't worry. It has to happen at this.
You hear how upset he's getting over it now? Like, he doesn't want to do it. You can clearly tell he doesn't want to get rid of this dude.
Point, okay? I am proud of you for putting your foot down for what's right, getting rid of a twisted demon. Whatever that means. All right. Thank you.
Whatever. Never mind.
Very much. Hail to the king. I really don't know what on earth that means. But okay. Getting rid of a twisted demon.
He's got to be like dumb.
Exercise the demons, right? Okay.
He's got to be.
Excuse me. Andy did a super chat. Without a doubt, the biggest W is banning you-know-who. Sometimes to evolve means to leave the old shell behind. Andy and Ash want you to succeed. Again, I honestly don't see why this was such a big thing put on me, because it you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stop someone from acting one way. You know what I'm saying? So banning someone from chat doesn't solve the problem, correct? And the person, they do not have an association
I'm gonna let him finish.
with me. They're just a stream viewer. So to me, it's like, I don't get why this is an association and why people are upset anyway, but I'll do it. Whatever. Whatever. In truth.
You doing it is you actively, not just saying it, but you actively condemning the actions. That's why it's so big. Let me give you a perfect comparison. Let's say there is a church, right? And the only reason that I'm using this comparison, by the way, is not to say that DSP's a church or anything, but he does kind of act like his whole thing should be treated like one. In regards to taxes and whatnot, he definitely would love if everything that was ever given to him, whether it be from YouTube or through Patreon, or which I don't even see why the fuck people still subscribe to that, or through tips on his streams, like he would openly love if every single bit of dollary dues that he ever got from any of that was just tax exempt, that he'd just keep it all, wouldn't have to pay taxes on it. So that's why I'm using this comparison, but just follow me here. Take this ride with me, as they say. So let's say that there's a church, and let's say that in this church there is a group of ministers and priests. There's a clergy, and at this church there is a large congregation of people, and the congregation of people has fluctuated over the years. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small, but it stays kind of a consistent number. You see where I'm going here? Anyways, let's say that a member of that clergy let's say a member of that clergy violates someone, and you know exactly what I mean. They pull them off into they somehow get them alone. They assault them, and then the days go on as it is. However, rumors start to circulate around the clergy and the congregation that this particular person may have done something, that may have done this assault, done this violation. And let's say that the church, the clergy in the church, the head of the church, the whatever you want to consider it, the head priest does nothing. And let's say that he does nothing for 2 years. And then the reputation of that church starts going down, because there's clergy that are there that will assault people. And you know who's going to be mainly responsible for that? It's going to be the church itself, because they do nothing about it. Same exact thing, but with you, DSP. You're the church, and you're not willing to get rid of a member of your congregation and clergy. That's exactly what that is. That's why it has something to do with you. Maybe I need to make more sandwich analogies. Maybe that would make it go through better.
Dude, this is me being very honest with you guys. Again, I was honest on the show. I didn't even know that person. I didn't know any, like, the extent of anything. I've had people coming to me saying, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, but I don't look into it. Because, like I said, my philosophy is I don't want to stalk my viewers.
It's not stalking.
I don't want to have to follow my viewers around the internet and be responsible for each and every one of them and what they're doing outside of the realm of my streams, nor should I be. And now, it seems like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. No, I can tell you right now, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to sit here and look into your guys' lives and shit. That's messed up, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I don't, I'll do it because it's what everyone wants, but I don't necessarily agree with that philosophy, No, I don't follow him on Twitter. I've never been to his YouTube page. I don't do any of that shit. I have nothing to do with any of it at all. Thank you to the $250,000 man for a $50 super chat. He says, good job banning that loser. This is to your future success. Thank you. I found you via This Is How You Don't Play and only ever didn't support you because you were harboring a known you-know-what without your knowledge according to the stream. That's right. I respect... Oh, no. Without knowledge according to the stream. Right. I respect you so much more that you're getting rid of him, but it's a terrible look to say a prominent member of the community being that doesn't fall on you when you lean and ban anyone who says something mildly opposite to your opinions. Because they did it in the chat. You now understand the difference between they did something in the chat in front of me against the rules, you violated the rules, you're gone, versus, oh, I just through hearsay heard something.
But he was also violating and breaking the rules of your chat, and you still let him do it. Still not a better look, bro.
If you ran a restaurant and someone who...
well, like I said, I should have just did like a restaurant or sandwich shop analogy.
Who's a known criminal walked into your restaurant, but you don't have evidence that they're a known criminal, do you throw them out of your restaurant? Or do you know what I'm saying? This is everyone's welcome in the chat.
No. No, here's a better one. You run the restaurant, and one of your staff is a known criminal. One of your wait staff is a known criminal. Better yet, one of the cooks in the restaurant is a known criminal. Known to everybody, even you. You have heard you've heard through the grapevine that this person is a known criminal. Now you just let them work there for 2 years.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't get that, and I'm not going to argue the semantics of this over and over because I already have argued it. So there you go. He's already going to be banned, so you can stop talking about it now. You were going to quit drinking today, but the banning of so-and-so is a moment to celebrate. Who knew that this was such a big deal? I certainly didn't. I really didn't think it was a big deal.
Okay, I gotta stop it there. Like, if I watch any more, I'm going to want to break something. Oh man. Okay. Let me I want to put up something to put in the center here just so it's not just black. Hey, you know what? Let's bring him back an old goldie on that one. A gold oldie. A gold oldie. I didn't know this was going to be such a big deal, guys. I had no clue, no idea. Oh, my lord. Alright, yeah, I'm going to make clips out of this and just kind of throw them around both YouTube and Twitter, but... Phil is just infuriating. Like, that's the best way to put it. That's the only way I can put it. He is just so goddamn infuriating. That you could have someone who is... I don't know if he's stupid. I don't know if he's just so lost in his own narcissistic bubble that there is just no way to get him to even acknowledge the shit around him. But his quote-unquote philosophy and views on shit is so annoying. It's so irritating. And it makes no sense. There is no commonality whenever it comes to it. My brain melts. My brain literally melts. trying to figure out where this comes from, man. So anyways, that happened over the weekend, or the thing just happened Monday, actually, just yesterday. But it just continues to surprise me to no end that it took 20 minutes to get him to agree. And then even after that, in his little, oh, I gotta cool off from the talk stream, guys. I gotta have, what do you call it? A fucking, what is it? Like a reprieve, cool off stream. He needed to chill out and decompression stream. That's what it was. And during that, people just brought it up over and over and over again, and were thanking him for getting rid of him, and blah, 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 and him just still being like, I don't know why it's such a big deal. What's it got to do with me? I don't understand. Like, it's funny that a dude who claims to understand economics, who claims to have business degrees, who claims to know how business works, who claims to have all of these, like, past experiences and past knowledge and shit, knows all of this stuff, but whenever it comes to regular common sense things, he's just lost. I'm beginning to believe, and as a matter of fact, I don't even really need to begin to believe it, I think it's true, that Phil is just 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, exactly what he claims everybody else to be. Everybody else that he, like, actively takes a shit on, he does that because he is projecting on everybody else. He has to. It has to be after that. Like, there's no other way to put it. Everybody else are idiots and morons and dunces because he himself is an idiotic moron dunce. Like, it's just the way that it is. And with that, I'm going to cut it here. But I do thank any and all of you who come by, who were here while we were doing this, who come by later. Whatever the case is, I do love and appreciate all of you. You're all amazing. As said, I won't see you all for the rest of this week, but I will see you all next week. And I'm going to spend the next little bit probably making the clips that I want to make out of this stream and posting it around. And I really hope, really hope that you all have a terrific Tuesday, have had a terrific Tuesday. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday and a wondrous rest of your week. And until next time, I am the Con, and I am out of here.